Cutter's Degrassi Unpopular Opinions. Hey there, hello, hello, it's Jeff Cutter. Welcome you to another Degrassi Unpopular Opinion. And basically, well, this is more of a hot take, obviously. So basically, in season 13, Maya decides to try to be more mature and try to help out her friends more often because she still has the gut feeling, the guilt from the previous season when Cam died in bittersweet sympathy. So basically, the background of the story, and I'm surprised I haven't done this, Tristan and Maya thing, for Unpopular Opinion / hot take. But basically put, I mean, Maya loved Cam, but she also liked Sig, and Maya tended to close with Sig and basically left Cam at the mercy of Principal Simpson. Because Maya knew that Sig had basically conned Cam and all that. But, Cam tries to go to Maya and apologize and says all this stuff. And then he takes Maya's stuffed animal Hoot and wants to give it back to her. He's waiting for her in front of the school. But Sig sees him and basically Sig tells him that Maya's life would be so much better if you weren't involved in it. Of course, Sig doesn't realize that Cam had the issues. He was homesick because he was 10 hours away from his home in Northern Ontario. And basically, he was scared and all that. And the team and his hockey team would get mad at him for his puppy dog love of Maya. So basically, Cam offs himself in the greenhouse. Eli has to see the dead body. Maya at first doesn't seem to even care about it. Like, she was told to say something at his funeral, but she basically said that, suicide's a sin and all that. Sig does tell Maya the truth that maybe he's responsible, and Maya just brushes him off. But Maya realizes that she misses Cam so much. And basically, she's upset. Like, she has the right to be upset, but she seemed so whiny when she was upset. It's just hard to believe. But anyhow, Maya decided that she needed to help her friends out because she still has the guilt about Cam's death in her mind and all that. So basically, one of her biggest moves was in season 13. Well, she had troubles with with Zoe, who wanted to be with Sig and Miles. Maya fell in love with Miles, and then Zoe was going for him too. Maya got mad at Zoe, wrote a song about her, and unfortunately the school overreacted and basically said that, you're going to get in deep trouble and you're going to the rubber room for a while. And basically Zoe played Maya like a fiddle because, Zoe knew that Maya didn't really mean too much. But basically it's like, gotcha. And all that. Maya still was with Miles, but then she had a couple of breakups with him because of his activities with Zoe. So basically what she does is she realizes that Tristan is in love with his English teacher, Mr. Yates. Tristan's gay and all that. But basically she realizes that Tristan has made a giant mistake being with Mr. Yates. And basically, student and a teacher shouldn't happen. So she goes to the authorities. Mr. Yates gets investigated. Tristan blows up at Maya, basically saying that, you're so jealous because, you have lots of people around you, but when I have a relationship, you want to break it up. Why? Maya says, it's wrong. You're with a teacher. You can get in a lot of trouble. He doesn't believe that. He basically tells Maya that basically she was jealous. But of course, to me, it seemed that Tristan basically was upset because, Tristan had a thing for Miles, but Miles wanted to be with Maya more than him. So basically, he was upset. I think he was mad at Maya for stealing his man and all that. I think Maya would have given up Miles to Tristan if Tristan felt that way because, she was trying to help Tristan with his problems. Basically, Tristan doesn't come anywhere near Maya, and then in season 14, they're friends again. But only after she apologizes to him. Like, why would Maya do that? It's just stupid. She has to apologize to him. It just doesn't make sense. So, regardless, basically Tristan was a big jerk and all that. Tristan and Maya didn't really have that many blow-ups or friendship moments after season 14. But anyway, yeah. Maya was that might have hit Maya too, saying that she tried to help Tristan and it failed miserably. And then of course, as we all know, season 14, she tries to help Miles out so much, but her mom and the police officer basically try to tell Maya that you can't help someone who can't help themselves, and you're gonna risk your life for a person. Like Maya, I think should have just said, "Well, I had to do it because Cam died under my watch." Maya never got over the Cam thing. You know how Emma had her depression and all that. It didn't last that long, but Maya was like multiple seasons. Like she seemed fine at the end of season 14. And then by next class she was fine. And then they had the bus crash, and then by season 3 she went back to being depressed. A lot of people also agree with the whole Maya thing. Basically, people said that he's a dick saying she has had a good love life. Her first love killed herself, but yeah, she's had love real easy. He needs counseling for how insecure slash jealous slash lonely he was to be able to see Maya as the lucky one. And basically, Yates tried to molest Winston too. People said, I never, like Averyism said, I never understood why Maya had to apologize after Tristan learned about Yates groping Winston. I mean, shouldn't it have sunk in that Yates was a predator? I never understood the purpose of Tristan having this expression after Winston tells him. Alas, I guess Tristan still thought Maya was taking all of his love interest away and didn't understand his perspective. Someone said, I'm legit annoyed that the writers never really resolved this. Like, they only became friends again because Maya apologized and groveled to Tristan. Imagine having to apologize for saving your friend from a predator. Basically, the writers made it seem that Maya had to win Tristan over. It just doesn't make anything. And a lot of people said that basically Tristan becomes unbearable after Yates and all that. Yeah. There's a lot of different stuff on the Reddit thing and all that. A lot of people say, well, Maya did the right thing, but people hate her character so much. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah, there's a lot of things. You know, someone said, I hate when people demonize Maya and Tristan for this. Maya handled things very well and acted out of concern for a friend. Tristan reacted the way he did because he was being groomed and manipulated and didn't realize that. I think people tend to forget that how young the characters are and they need expect extreme maturity and tact from them at all times. And Abraham says, I agree, but I don't understand. Like Tristan still didn't understand why he was being groomed after Winston admitted Yates groped him. He still wanted Maya to apologize after learning this. I understand why he wanted an apology, because he thought that Maya took something away with Miles. But after that instance, he could have understood that Yates was trouble and all that. Tristan basically was being pathetic and all that. So it just doesn't make sense why Tristan would overreact to Maya and all that. I think it was like the point is that Tristan was upset that Maya took away his man, that being Miles. I can understand that. I get what Tristan is trying to get at. But basically, Tristan is basically putting pressure on Maya, and basically Maya in her stage after her in her season 13 stage needed to apologize to be a better friend because she wanted to be a better friend to everyone out of concern and all that. But she should have just cut the cord with Tristan and say that, Tristan is terrible. And basically, this is before the police officer said, you can't help someone who can't help themselves. I just wish Maya had learned that. I mean, in a sense, Maya was just trying to protect her friends and all that. But in another sense, she may have went overboard. But anyway, what can you do? So anyway, yeah. So Tristan was a piece of shit, and a lot of people were happy when he went into a coma. I mean, you should really be happy when a character goes into a coma who's well hated and all that. Like, if Jay went in a coma, I would be happy, but Jay didn't go in a coma. So, can't really say anything. Anyway, I dropped that. I mean, thanks for watching.